How's it going, everyone? Want to go over some more PlayStation Plus updates. This piece of news from the GameFile updates has really been making the rounds, and I want to give you guys my input on it as far as games getting pulled from PlayStation Plus, and we've been seeing that a lot. I know month to month, most of you guys go to the PlayStation blog or you watch our videos and you look at the catalog update for Plus Extra and Plus Premium, and that's all you look at. You look at the games getting added to the service, and that's enough to make you go unhinged and crap on PlayStation Plus. However, I feel like the real story with PlayStation Plus and the destruction of its value has been the games leaving the service in comparison with the games getting added to the service. And in the GameFile interview, Nick McGuire, VP of Global Services at PlayStation, he spoke a little bit about games leaving the service. We'll talk about that and I'll break that down. And at the end of this video, I do want to talk about a major game on PlayStation Plus Premium getting a trial. If you do want to check that out, we'll talk that at the end of this video. But first of all, in a GameFile interview with Nick McGuire, VP of Global Services at PlayStation, he was asked about games getting pulled from PlayStation Plus. Just back in May, about 20 games got removed from the service. June also had some major games leaving the service, and McGuire noted this: "We've got 80 collections of games across the catalog, so we want to keep it fresh and bring in new games. Sometimes that means taking a few games out at the same time to keep the proposition interesting and help people find the new games as well." That latter portion is a pile of crap. What do you mean to keep the proposition interesting and help people find new games? Are you telling me because there are too many games on the service, it becomes difficult to navigate and people aren't smart enough to look at the new games that have been added? Why not add... They have a tab, I'm pretty sure, of new games added to the service, or promote games. Like, this is fairly simple to do in terms of making sure that games are promoted to people and people are finding new games on the service. Ain't no way there are too many games and you guys are pulling more games than you're adding to the service, and the value of PlayStation Plus month to month is going down because the games leaving the service outweigh the games getting added to the service, and it's because you want to help people find new games. Like, get out of here. Did April only have 6 games get added to the service because you thought Blueprints was such a huge addition and you wanted to make sure all of the attention was on Blueprints? No, you only added 6 games because you don't want to spend as much money month to month to add more games to the service. You're getting more games leaving the service because the contracts with the third party are expiring, and you're like, you know, we could up these licensing deals to have these games on the service, but how about we let them expire? People aren't gonna notice, and you know what? Let's also be a little bit more cost efficient as far as how many deals we sign for PlayStation Plus, because we can keep the cost down and we can end up making more money. That's how these things work, you guys. There's a reason why PlayStation Plus initially, the price point was a little bit lower, extra and premium that is, and the game quality, I would say, was better, and now the game quality is worse, but the price point has gone up. How many Square Enix games we got left on PlayStation Plus? Bandai Namco games out there? A lot of those games have gotten pulled as well. It's a lot of the major publishers, all of their games are getting pulled, but don't you worry. The Ubisoft Classics are in there, and I'm sure you guys are all about those Ubisoft Classics. Look, there are some good games in the Ubisoft Classics section, but I digress. It is still one of the worst things about PlayStation Plus in terms of the games getting pulled, and this nonsense of keeping it fresh, bringing in new games. Yeah, I get the idea of games having to leave the service and games getting added to the service. That's every subscription service. That is everything under the sun, whether it be a Netflix, HBO, etc., etc. Stuff's gonna leave and stuff's gonna get added, but with PlayStation, it's very obvious what's going on. And yes, there's one instance of licensing agreements ending. However, when you're pulling stuff like Spider-Man 2018 and then all of a sudden a Spider-Man remastered is coming out right after that, that Spider-Man remastered, remember, it came out with Miles Morales as an Ultimate Edition, but then they had a standalone release on PlayStation 5. It's very obvious that that wasn't a coincidence. Are you telling me it was a coincidence that Horizon Zero Dawn was pulled and then all of a sudden you had a Horizon Zero Dawn remastered? Infamous Second Son was just recently pulled. If they announced an Infamous Second Son remastered, like, we obviously know why first-party games get pulled, and not to say that every game getting a remaster is getting pulled. Like Days Gone, for example, is still available on PlayStation Plus Extra, but Days Gone on PS Plus Extra doesn't even give you the option to upgrade the game. You still have to buy the game if you want the upgrade, so that's just a little bit strange. In the same interview, Maguire did also talk about PlayStation Plus's ongoing success. And he talked about, you know, adding games to the service and the opportunity to grow a franchise. Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. But he also noted we've sort of stayed true to our strategy across the board while we're not looking to put games in day and date. That goes for their major first-party games. They'll get the Sword and the Sea, they'll get the Strays of the world, they'll get the smaller third-party releases, FBC Firebreak, and some of those will be good. Like Blueprints was really well received and FBC Firebreak was a disaster, but, you know, some will be well received, some will not. And they noted around 6 games, but that number could fluctuate and it could be more than that if the right deals do, you know, come to fruition. And nobody, I think, is asking for day one first-party games, unless it's a smaller scale game. Like if you want to throw in, let's say when Fair Game comes out, and that game's gonna bomb regardless, but let's say when Fair Game comes out, you want to put that on PlayStation Plus Extra, I think that makes sense given that live service games, it's all about the community and having a lot of people playing the game. Concord comes out, you know, that game was dead, but, you know, having that on PS Plus Extra I think makes a lot of sense. But as far as their God of Wars, their major new releases, Ghosts of Yotes, those aren't going to be on PlayStation Plus day one because they want to sell the game at $70. And I get what they do. The model is actually incredibly smart, where they essentially take the same game and they have multiple monetization paths for them. So let's take Ghosts of Yote, for example. Ghosts of Yote will come out. The people that really want to play it right away, they'll buy it for their PlayStation 5. They'll buy it for $70. They might even buy a PS5 or PS5 Pro if they don't have one, because Ghosts of Yote is that strong of a game. A year goes by, okay, people aren't buying Ghosts of Yote anymore, let's port that game to PC. All of a sudden, you've got a lot more people now buying the game on PC at $60, $70. Okay, after that, you know, Ghosts of Yote, the buzz has kind of died down. 16 to 18 months after its initial release, hey, let's throw the game on PlayStation Plus. We can get some new subscribers that way. So you have all of these different monetization cycles for this game that you released 18 months ago, but you monetized it on release, you monetized it with the PC release, and then you monetized PlayStation Plus. You added value to PlayStation Plus. It's not a direct, you know, we're selling the game again, but you get the idea. I do think that's a strategic way to go about it, and I don't think anybody's asking for major first-party games on Plus day one. Maybe a few people are, but that's not going to happen, and most people are aware of that, and nobody's expecting PlayStation Plus to be at the value proposition that Xbox Game Pass is going to be, but there's a happy medium. There's a happy medium where we're not lessening the value of the service while raising the price point of it, and that is where we're at right now. I'm just asking for a little better quality of the games that are getting added to the service. And yeah, games aren't going to come day one, but I'm sure you could work out a agreement with a publisher, you know, 6 months after a game comes out, and talk to them, and it doesn't have to be the biggest release in the world. Like, imagine an AI Limit. AI Limit was a smaller release, came out back in March of last year. Let's say in August or September, AI Limit gets added. Okay, I think if you can work out a deal for that, that's worthwhile. Or even First Berserker Kazan. Now, that's kind of a bigger title, but it's not like that game set the world on fire in terms of commercial success. Maybe you can figure out a deal, and that would be a significant addition 6 months after release. Or, you know, there are other options as well. I'm just throwing out some options. Let's just first increase the value of this service through some older games, than me asking for games even 6 months old. But I think that's a pipe dream at this stage of the game. Lastly, I do want to note, you know, PlayStation Plus Premium, I talked about that as well. They absolutely cooked the value of PlayStation Plus Premium, pulling a lot of VR titles, and they pulled Resistance and Resistance 2. Those were game streaming titles, and some other games from Plus Premium. But guess what? You got Battle Station Aquila. I guess that should, you know, compensate for the 10 games or 8 games leaving the service. But you do get a Marvel Spider-Man 2 game trial, 2-hour game trial on that. Look, most of you guys watching our channel have already played that game, but it is what it is as far as that's concerned. 2-hour trial for that. I like Spider-Man 2. Didn't like it as much as Spider-Man 2018, but not gonna go on a tangent about that right now. Game trial for that available right now. But that'll do it for me. Again, I think the idea of games getting pulled from PS Plus, that's gonna be a reality. However, how Sony does it, and the recent month where, like, you have Dying Light 2 getting pulled, I don't know if that's this month or if it already happened, but Dying Light 2 getting pulled and a bunch of other major titles getting pulled. It's only 6 games getting pulled, but looking at that catalog of games getting pulled, it's some major games. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.